It's just been like consistent, like 10K above months.
Downloaded it, I checked the date, July of 2021, and then I left my job in September of 2021.
Since then, I've sold websites, I've pivoted my business, I'm no longer doing social media management.
What has been like your highest month?
13K.
It has literally changed my life.
When you were designing on WordPress, were you charging way less? Like, what is that like?
Yeah, way less. I think my first WordPress was like $500.
$500 for a WordPress site versus like up to $5,000 for a Showit site. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to be doing this interview with the one and only Marielle and Michelle. I am so freaking pumped for this because I really am stoked to bring people behind the scenes of what it looks like to build a web design business. And that really looks like all of the amazingness that comes with it, but also the like not so sexy parts. So before we dive too far into it, I'll give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and just like a little bit of a backstory.
Okay, well, my name is Marielle.
I am Michelle.
We're sisters, and we have a brand and Showit design studio called L&L Design Co. And we are originally from California, San Diego, but we were raised in Norway, and we're currently living in the Canary Islands. So, bit of a twist.
Fun life.
Yeah.
Adventurous. Okay, so how long have you guys been doing this? Let's give like a little backstory.
Yeah. So it's actually a funny story because when we were living in Norway, we went to school, but we did not get the best grades. We were flunking like math and like in the Norwegian language was a big problem in itself. So we were just basically flunking school. I never loved school. I hated school.
Yeah, me too. It's the worst.
Yeah. So that was with that. So, but we both flunked math. And if you don't have good grades in math in Norway, you don't have a lot of career choices. So that was really like, okay, shit, what do we do? Are we gonna work at a store or in a movie theater? Like, here's your ticket, have a great day, like
enjoy the movie.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, what do we do? And she was still in school because there's 3 years between us.
Okay.
So I started as a kindergarten teacher because that didn't require math. Like, kids don't need math that early in age. So I thought, okay, why not? I absolutely hated it. I was like, okay, I can't do this the rest of my life, raising other people's kids. I just can't do that. So that's when we actually just started like, okay, what are we gonna do? Like, and I had a bad day one day, and she was like, why don't we just move back to the States? Like, that's where we loved it. Like, we were young. We were 8 and 5. Like, we didn't really remember that much, but we were like, okay, we'll try that. So we applied to Santa Barbara College.
Okay.
And we got accepted. The only thing we needed to do was write an essay. And we were like, you don't need our grades? They're like, no, we just want a personal essay. We were like, great. We can do that.
Yeah.
And we got in, but since we had to apply, because we went through a Norwegian school that applied like through, but we couldn't do that route. We needed to apply as Americans, since we had like an American passport and Norwegian passport. So we kind of
got lost in the system. So they just forgot about us.
Oh my God.
So we didn't get any of
the classes we wanted. And we ended up needing science and math. Like, really?
The worst.
I know. It's like, okay, did you guys like know that we like flunked that and like, okay. So we were like, okay. And we found one online course, which we took. I think that was like in media or something like that. So we were like, okay, we'll just do this for, half the year and see how it goes. And we were sitting at this cafe in Santa Barbara, and it was like so gorgeous. We were on our laptops, and then we were like, this would be amazing if we like loved what we were doing, if we actually like were sitting here doing something we loved. And then we just went about our day. And that same evening, call it fate or whatever, but I was scrolling on Facebook, which I never do. And this ad popped up, start your own design business online.
And live your dream life.
And live your dream life. And I was like, and I just there was something that just went over me like, oh my God, this is it. This is our calling. Like, here it is. And we got our tuition money back. We purchased the courses, and that's pretty much where it started back in 2018. And we moved out of that studio apartment in Santa Barbara. We were paying, oh, holy crap, I think it was 10,000 each for a tiny studio apartment.
It was so tiny. And when you cooked food and opened the oven, the fire alarm will go off.
Oh my God.
So we never cooked, basically.
Crazy. Wait, so you dropped out of college? Like,
yes.
Remember? Okay. Wow.
Yes.
So, well, it's so crazy. I love that you mentioned that you guys were like just sitting out, beautiful day on your laptop, and you're like, what if we could just like do this all the time and enjoy what we did? Isn't it crazy how far-fetched that thought is, like in our society? Like how that should just be a norm. Like we should just be conditioned that as kids and throughout high school and college. And the fact that that's not, and that's like a unique aspect of your story is amazing for you guys, but honestly really fucked up and corrupt that that's just not a norm.
I know. And like at that point, I didn't even know like what I would do online. Like I just knew that I love my laptop. It would be so fun to like do something from it and earn money. Like I had no idea that you could actually do stuff online until I saw that ad and went through like that email sequence course before we purchased the course. That's when I understood like, oh crap, you can do a lot here on like online. Yeah.
It's so amazing. So would you say both of you are naturally creative, or how has that like developed? And do you guys have like different abilities? I'm sure you do, but how has that kind of evolved?
Well, I've always been told, like, since I was very young, like at school when we were painting, that I was always creative and always got a gold star because I painted the whole picture. It was like a little color there and then just done with it. I will always take it full on out. So I've always been creative, I would say.
Yeah, no, I have not.
No.
No, I couldn't draw for shit. So I wasn't any creative. I was organized. I made to-do lists. I loved all that kind of stuff, but I was never creative. So I was like in the beginning, like, oh crap, like how am I gonna do this? Like I'm not creative. I have never like, but then it's so funny because the things like now I'm like, I love it. I've learned, or not learned, but it was something that I was taught that I learned, like I loved. So it was nothing I was born with or anything. We were like, she was always the creative one. She took arts and like all these arts courses through school and
went to science school for 4 years.
Yeah. So I know.
So it's really cool with web design specifically, and tell me if you guys have kind of witnessed this as well, that there are kind of two aspects to web design. It's not all creative. Like I feel like some people just assume that it's all creative and like it's literally as if you're like sitting down and sketching a drawing. It's not. There's also analytical sides to it and like working with the clients and communication and booking the clients. Like there's so much that goes into it that's actually the opposite of being creative, you know. It's actually just like doing the work and sitting down and being analytical. So it's fascinating. Do you guys bring those two different aspects to the business? Like, do you guys have different roles in it, or how do you guys juggle that?
Well, she does branding. So she does all branding with clients and I do websites. So that naturally just felt, because in the beginning we tried to do like, I would do branding and websites and she would do branding and websites, like within the same business. That was like in the beginning, because we wanted to try both. But I don't enjoy branding and all those things like she does. And she was like sketching out like 10, 15 logos at once. And I was like, okay. No, like I had one and I was like, ooh, that could work. Like, Yeah, it was. So I figured out pretty quickly, and then the opposite.
With websites.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but I hate them.
Like she
I hate building them. I just can't do it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So we
But
then divided those.
It's so cool that you guys get to put your brains together and that you can like acknowledge, first of all, that like, hey, that actually is not my forte. Like, I don't love to do that. And that the other person does love it. Like, stay in your zones of genius and like allow each other to do that, because I do think it will be so much more passion filled. And in a result of that, like your clients will be happier because they're receiving something that the creator on the other side actually enjoyed doing.
Absolutely. And that's what we found out as well. Like we wanted to give our all with our clients as well, and our expertise as best as we could, and just dividing it like that was the best way. And like in other things, like I kind of learned along the way, like all my organization and perfectionist and all those things that I had, like I was like good at, like that was like what I told myself I was good at, and that I kind of bring that into the business with like organizing and getting everything ready, and all those things have kind of brought that in. But then she's the total opposite, and like she's more I don't know how to say this in the like a pretty way. Not organized at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I know that we've talked a lot about like on Instagram about taking Wealthy Web Designer. That's the one course that you've taken, right? So I know that you have said that you've taken quite a few other courses in web design world specifically, or just in general?
General.
Yeah.
And
more in general. The first ever course we bought was a design course.
And tech.
Yeah, and tech and like those, but those were more towards branding and then building your own website in Squarespace. So those things were like, and it didn't really teach you to become a web designer, and more taught you to become like branding and those things. But it was when I was building our website, like in Squarespace, WordPress, all these, I found like, oh, I actually really like designing. I just wish these platforms didn't suck. So that's where Show It came in and changed the world. So
I love that. So how long have you been designing on Show It?
I've been designing probably since 2021.
Okay.
I've been dabbling, but I would say solid since probably fall of 2020. What? We're in 2023. Okay, so 2022 started in 2021, fall 2022. I was all over.
Honestly.
About 2 years.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So what led you guys to making the decision to invest into Wealthy Web Designer? Like, where were you in your business? What was like the aha moment that led you to be like, okay, yes, I need this course?
Oh, everything that you were posting, the community, the design style, and your energy in particular was, because we know who we are and how we are, and we just were so afraid to show up as those people. Like I swear all the time. And online I just never, like I was like, okay, if I swear here, they're gonna bail. They're not gonna want to be here, like all that. And I felt like I was like just pressing myself behind, and I just felt like I'm not authentic on here at all. But then we found you, and you were like doing what like we always wanted to do, and we were like, oh wow, she's doing great. Like okay, maybe this is possible. Maybe people don't care if you say a swear word here or there. And then
I swear? What? I don't think so.
But that's like what we love. Like now everybody, if we swear, people are like, oh my God, it's so refreshing to hear like somebody say fuck or this or that, and we're like, oh, okay, great.
Well, I think that especially on social media, like so many people feel the need to like kind of suppress themselves and not show up as like their unapologetic self. And I think that if you can, and you'd be like, hey guys, this is me. Like I am a web designer, but like, I'm going to come on here and I'm gonna be like, fuck. Like you can do you if that feels authentic to you. And it will really connect with someone who maybe has been feeling the same way and looks on Instagram all the time and is like, all I see is perfection. Like this person is so real. I feel so inspired. I think that is like the most important thing we all can try to do on social media.
Definitely. And that was what really like resonated with us. And like, and then of course, building that design business, that was really drew us in also to Wealthy Web Designer. And I had purchased SEO of Show It first, because I really want to refine my skills and Show It and become really good at Show It. And when I found that course, I was like, okay, I had an other like Show It course, but I was like, I want to try this out because I've seen you for a long time. And I was like, I really want to do that. And I learned, I'm not kidding you, I learned so much more in that course than the other course combined. Like it was just, and I was like, oh, holy crap.
Wow.
And I told her, and I was like, okay, so I just made like a checklist with all your courses, and I'm just like checking them off as I go when we purchase them, because I was like, I need them all. So it was just so good.
Okay, so you made the decision to then get into Wealthy Web Designer. What when you first like went into it, what do you feel like resonated the most with you? Like, did you have any aha moments?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot. How simplified everything was. That is what really resonated and like made us believe that we could actually build our design business, because all the other courses we have taken has been about marketing and all those things, like very similar structured, just not the design part. But it has been so complicated and so like, if you don't do this, this will happen, or this and that and this and that. And it was so many rules that just made you not show up instead. And after we took Wealthy Web Designer and went through that, I think we went through it in a night, I think. We were literally binge watching. So when we were done, we were like, okay, we started writing down everything and started implementing into our new branding, our like, for this month, we like January goals. We just listed out the goals we wanted to do this month, and we've done them. Like, we're launching our website on Monday, and I built it now this month, and that would have never happened because, and we've been showing up on stories. People have been connecting. We've hopped on discovery calls, and it's just been so much. So much going on this month, and that's because of the tips and small and the actionable steps from the course. And I think that's so important because we felt like we didn't get that with other courses. It was just so much, but this was so simplified and so actionable that it changed everything. Like, we're still in a building game, but we can see like a light at the end of the tunnel now. Like,
and it's not a train.
And it sounds like it really like lit the fire under your guys' butt. Like, you were looking for, which is amazing.
Definitely. Yes, because we have like, our parents have been they've been amazing. They have literally, I think they have, it's so embarrassing to say, but they have literally like spent their whole like retirement savings to help us to build this business, because they believe in us fully that this was because they too knew that like with our grades and everything, there wasn't a lot. We didn't have a lot of options. So when they found out that we were doing this, they knew like, this is like, they just want us to like build something of ourselves and be on our own and all this. So, and they've just been such a enormous help. And we talk to them like with everything, like we go down to them and like, oh, this happened in this course and him. So my dad is like our almost like secretary. He's like, yeah, so what did Becca Luna say today? Like, okay, how's it going? Like, okay, with the course and like with that, you guys need her. Yeah, okay, no, here, go. Like, he's like so invested. It's
just, dad. Love a supportive dad, for real.
I know. So he's totally like involved in it, and like, because he can see like, and I mentioned like from the course, I was like, she mentioned like PayPal is not the best, maybe Thrive Card is better. He's like, no, because PayPal's not really, Thrive Card. And he's like so invested, like, no, I can see the investment. You guys should do it. Thrive Card sounds like so much better. Like, and I'm like,
What a cutie.
Yeah.
You need to hire dad full time.
Oh, I know. I told him, I like, oh, definitely. You're gonna like pick up our phone calls, like, hello.
Oh my God. I love that. So you mentioned that in the other courses, and let's not bring up the other courses because I don't want to like dog on
Yeah.
that. But
yeah,
I do hear this a lot that with the other courses, you mentioned it, that this is the right way. Like you have to do it X, Y, and Z. And almost like if you don't do it like this, it's going to be wrong. And you mentioned that almost prevented you from even taking any action at all.
Yeah.
And I do think that is so important. And I have really, really tried to bring that to all of the education, just everything that I ever teach on, is that nothing is black and white and everything is nuanced. And like everyone has different desires and dreams and goals. And even just the way that we all work, like it's all so different, and it's totally okay to do something different. Like I preach that if I say something and I say 3 things and you love 2 or you love 1, and like don't follow the 2 other ones. Like that's okay. You don't need to do 100% of it. You can go do your own thing and like make it unique. And I do think that is so important to teach and really like embody, because then your business will be unique to you and thrive and run how you guys want, because I'm not running your business. Like it's really important that you guys set up and establish this business to fulfill you guys and make sure that you wake up excited and happy of what you're doing. And I think that is where some courses go wrong. And I just think that it is so, so important to empower you guys to do it how you want to do it. And I'll just help you with what I know, what works, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what we found that was so unique, because we felt like, here's what I've done that's been successful, but choose one or these, or go your own path, or like just you kind of you teach and like give people that value instead of like people guessing, like guessing through the course, like, should I do that? Or was it this? Or was it, okay, what? Like, okay, where am I? It's not a guessing game. You give the answers like flat out, like, here's how I did it, run with it or not. Like,
take it or leave it.
To take it or leave it. And that's exactly, and that's what we love too. And like, in all the other courses we've taken, it's been like, I would recommend you do this. It's like, and then you're kind of like, okay, but if I don't, what happens? Like you have that fear of like, ooh, okay, should I do that? And then it doesn't feel aligned doing it. And then you're like, oh, but she recommended it. So
that's really hard. Do you feel like, so throughout your journey and just like you guys, so it's been 2 years, is that what you said? It was 2020 or 2021?
Since we started, like this whole thing was in 2018. But fully like, I can't say we started fully our business until 2021 when we moved down here, because that's when we registered our business and really kind of started, more in depth with the things that we enjoyed, like branding and show it and these things.
Yeah. What do you feel like since, let's say, that 2021 time, has there been anything that comes to mind that has been like, holy shit, this is so hard. Like, I want to quit. This is not what I signed up for. Like, is there any of those moments that's been like, what did I get myself into?
Oh yes, definitely. A lot of breakdowns, a lot of crying, a lot of tension in the family, a lot of back end stuff regarding money. Like how are we going to build our business and get clients, consistent clients, and pay back, like for our sake at least, like how are we going to pay back our parents? They have literally used everything on us. And like it does bring like a tension in the family. Like even though everyone's supportive, it brings like a fear of money. And that has definitely been the most difficult, and I think definitely and still definitely is, but we have much more faith that things will just work out now, and we feel things are starting to like not like things are starting to roll, like we're showing up even though we don't want to, sometimes don't want to show, like she hates talking, she hates stories. I could yap her all day, like I'm
yappering now.
right, yeah. So it's not really like a big enough issue as it is for her, but some days I'm like, I don't have anything to say, what am I going to say? But I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to show up and tell them that, like, I'm here, like, here's what I've been doing today, like, hey, like, you know. So
I love that. I do think
definitely.
that that's so relatable. Everyone has that. Everyone has those. Like, even I have those days all the time. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's in it.
Yeah.
And I do think that if you can get into the routine of just still showing up, like, messy action is better than no action, no matter what. And so to just really try and push through, and of course, have it be a balance, like honor yourself. If you wake up and you're like, yo, I'm not in it today, that's okay. Like, you don't have to get on Instagram every day, but really try and get into the consistent routine of putting yourself out there, because you have clients that are ready with, ready to send that Stripe bill over to you and pay invoice right away. And it's your responsibility. It's our responsibility as a service provider to get ourselves out there in front of them. So I do think that, like, that fear is probably the hardest thing that most people go through in the very beginning, like 100%.
I definitely agree there. And that's why, like by the end of the year, I remember we came on like super vulnerable and like told everyone, like, this is how it is. Like, we struggle with money, we struggle with this and that and that. And I remember so many people like reached out and resonated with it and was like, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about that, like, Stripe in business. It's all about like, oh, I hit this 5K month, or I hit that K month, and all of these things. And that's when we saw, like, okay, we've always been surrounded in that type of community. Like, okay, if you don't hit that K month,
you failed.
You know. And that is when we like started, like, and by the end of last year, we were like, you know what, we've been following you for so long, and we see this community, and we can see people that have been like on the lowest of lowest and have taken your course and have really built that business and have that, it feels like they have that authenticity behind it when they're speaking about it. So we just knew, like, okay, this is our next direction. And that's what we feel like. We're still, we took a Wealthy Web Designer about, I think it was end of December. So we're still like really like implementing everything yet and stuff like that, and started like posting on TikTok and email list, and really, but we've taken action. That's the biggest difference. We've taken action.
Well, way to go, you guys. I'm super proud of you for doing that. I know it's not easy. But I do think that as soon as you get into the routine of it, and as soon as you get that like high paying client, you'll be like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Like, that's so worth it. And then it'll just building momentum from there.
I know. And that's the big, I think that's the big, because we never, that's the thing, we never showed up, because we were always told, like, okay, if you don't have that ready, you don't do this. If you don't have that and that and that and that. And it was just so much crap in our brain, like of so much you needed to do before you even showed up. Like, we just backed away completely until like now it was just like, start showing up. And when Willow was talking as well, those actions, like going in and like doing those small things on Instagram, like I sit every evening on my iPad just like doing that small thing. And then I think we've gained like followers don't, because we get a lot of followers, but I delete, like, if it's, you see like bots or like spam and all these things, but I delete them, because I don't care about the number, but I care about if there's a person behind it, and actually someone that I can communicate with and like, connect with online. And just by doing all these things, we've gained, like, I think it's like 40 new followers just in 2 weeks, and that is insane for us. Like, that's crazy, and it's real people as well. And that's what excites me. It's not like just bots and like, hey, buy my necklace or something like that, it's like, it's something legit.
Honestly. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so we've talked about the struggles, the hardship, but if you could think about like the future, maybe the next 3 months, 6 months, what is, maybe even like from each of you, just one thing of what is like the most exciting thing to come? Like, what are you really, really looking forward to in this new journey of yours?
Ooh, travel.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to travel more and start actually I know like that's not maybe the funnest answer, but actually start paying back our parents. Like that would give me
Yeah.
tremendous joy to like start paying them back.
Yeah, for me too. It's definitely seeing that our business is starting to take off and really implementing what you have taught us. Like for me, showing up on stories. No, but I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's basically it. And of course paying back our parents and really seeing our business growing and just
hitting those consistent months.
Yeah, exactly.
That is definitely, I think, our first goal, like hitting those months and then starting to enjoy the things that come with it. Like you can travel, you can work from these places and stuff like that. So until now, it hasn't been like an option for us, but we can kind of see now, like if we continue doing these things and implementing these things and taking that messy action, we'll get there.
Yeah. Do you feel like Wealthy Web Designer has been that like push for you? Do you feel like it's been like a catalyst to get to these goals quicker? Where you guys at that?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I would have never done stories or anything without you and Willow. So you guys lit a bonfire under my ass.
Yep. Definitely. And that has been, and I love also that all the videos are they're short, concise, and they're to the point and like take out like that. And it's just, I love that type of content as well, because I have other courses that, oh my God, I think there's like 28 minutes in a video and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, but so it's just, but these are like, and then that's when it started to hit me like, is it really that simple? Like to implement these things? I thought it was so hard. Like everybody else like does it so hard. And with your tips, I've actually started seeing some positive things happen. So
I love that.
Definitely.
Oh my God. Amazing, you guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and chatting with me and just talking about your guys' journey. I know that this, like, you guys are only going to go up from here, and you guys are really at that like building stage where there's only amazingness to come. And that as soon as you start ticking off those like goals of yours, you'll look back and be like, holy shit, we did it. Like I am so proud, so I'm really, really excited for you guys.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having us on here. We're literally so honored to be on here.
Yeah,
and
so super.
It's just been great. And we can see, like, we've always been dreaming about moving back to the States, buying our apartment, like doing all these things and, having our life together and all these things. And now we actually can see that happening.
Becoming into reality.
Yeah.
And not just a dream.
Yeah. And we're just, like you said, the chorus just lit a fire under our ass and we're like ready to go. We're just doing it. When now we're just gonna like every month we're gonna have like this month's goals. We're just gonna tick them off and do it and just do the messy action and just go straight ahead.
Oh yeah.
Make shit happen. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Where can people connect with you? I know people want to follow you, become besties with you. So what's your guys' Instagram, website?
Yay. Yeah. Well, our Instagram handle is at LNL Design Co. And our website is actually launching on Monday. So we are super excited about that. And that is at lnldesignco.com. Yeah. I think that's right.
Well, I'll have it all linked down below. So anyone watching this, go check them out. But thank you guys again so much for coming on here and taking time out of your day to chat with me. And I know that this will be very inspiring for everyone who watches this.
I hope so. We are so glad if we can help someone out there who's on this kind of stage where we are.
I love that. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.
Bye.